Hi Tuba lovers! In this video I'm going to talk about three key ingredients that are common to every great bass line and how to implement these three key elements on tuba. Plus I'm going to tell you about the fourth element that binds all these together. We will perform a couple of simple exercises designed to demonstrate these concepts, to help you evaluate your level of proficiency in each area and to improve your skill. These three key elements are rhythm, articulation, and tone color or timbre. Let's break them down one by one. Just as people move through time and space, so does music. We anchor ourselves in a temporal domain by marking the passage of time. And being able to predict what is going to happen next makes us feel safer. Thus, we mark units of time as points from one predictable event to the other, and this is what provides us with a feeling of safety, which is one of our basic needs. Walking, for example, is an activity that relies on predictability. In order to walk safely, you need to know that you won't stumble during the next few steps you take. This steadiness of walking creates a strong rhythm, because the time between two steps is always approximately the same. This creates a tempo. And because of the way human body is built and the size of our limbs, certain tempos feel more natural to us. For example, the tempo of walking, which is around 100 beats per minute, or BPM. Another activity similar to walking is dancing, which is primarily a social activity. Moving and swaying our bodies in sync connects us on a level deeper than language, because it communicates safety and familiarity. And groove-based music takes advantage of this biological familiarity and predictability to fulfill an important function, to make us want to move our body, to activate us to dance. Every great bass line is a repeating cycle, with slight variations introduced by the musicality of the bass player, but one key principle is there: exact, reliable, predictable rhythm. Now let's perform an exercise together. We will play the notes displayed on the screen. We'll begin by playing quarter notes. As the exercise progresses, we will switch to subdivisions of 2, 3, and 4. Watch the display. The goal is to play all notes at a steady pace, at the same volume, the same length, and with the same articulation from the start to the finish of the exercise, breathing as needed. It is very important to keep focused for the entire duration of the exercise. We will play the notes like this: mezzo piano, short, and with a quick attack. Now let's begin. Great! Each time you perform the exercise, you can pick dynamics, note lengths, and articulations of your choosing. Softer notes tend to be easier to control, but feel free to explore and find out for yourself what you prefer. In bass playing, articulation plays an important role as it underlines the song's character. A double bass player can either pluck the string, use the bow, or slap it. And each of these techniques has its own variations. Plucking position, plucking finger, index, middle or thumb finger, and so on. A bass guitar player can also use a pick, which is more typical for rock and heavy metal music. Not that we want to imitate a string bass with tuba, but mastering as wide a palette of articulations as possible allows us to add more expression and liveliness to our playing. Plus, different genres often imply the use of specific articulations, bright and crisp for jazz, more rounded for folk music, noisy for rock, and so on. Not just the start of a note, but the end of a note is very important as well. Again, stringed bass players can either let a note ring or mute it. Muting is a very important aspect of stringed bass playing. You can hear heavily muted and thus very short notes in genres like reggae, for example. In funk, muting is often quite aggressive, giving notes an abrupt ending. Tuba offers a wide range of articulations as well, which we can think of as phonemes, a soft da attack, a harder ta, a tongueless attack with breath only, sometimes more extremes like t. By controlling the vowel, a bright da can turn into a darker sounding du. In the same fashion, we can let a note decay slowly by simply gradually reducing the airflow while keeping the tongue in an open position. Or we can mute it by closing the airflow by moving the tongue to the soft palate and to the upper teeth. Then there is mouthpiece choice, instrument choice, airspeed. All these make for an immense expressive variety. And the more we master them, the more we can add that fourth element to our bass lines. Now let's play bass patterns by combining different note lengths and articulations. Follow the displayed notes and play them exactly as written. Listen and match my attack, note lengths and note endings. also known as timbre. This characteristic allows a bass player to control whether the bass will blend with the band or stand out. It's a very effective way of drawing attention without having to play louder. There are several ways string bass players can influence timbre: string choice, flat wound, round wound, gut strings, lighter or heavier gauge strings, plucking, bowing position, near the fingerboard for a more rounded, mellower tone, near the bridge for a sharper, brighter tone, EQ settings, effects, cabinet and microphone choice. The list goes on. The tuba tone, in turn, is greatly influenced by the shape of the player's resonant oral cavity, tongue and soft palate position, throat openness, lower jaw position. One thing to keep in mind is that the more you learn to control the timbre at the source, the more flexibility and versatility you will gain, sometimes making it quite difficult to play consistently. We will now play a simple bass line in a variety of timbres. To achieve this variety, we will shape our oral cavity into the displayed vowel and play long notes, retaining the vowel. Listen for the tonal quality of each vowel, and does it stand out or does it blend with the band? And now I'm going to mention the bonus element that ties the other three together. Have you guessed what it might be? It is consistency, the ability to control the amount of variation in your playing and to reduce it to a minimum. When variation is reduced below a certain point and the bass starts to feel consistent, the groove becomes more compelling, more danceable. Reduce variation to zero or near zero and you can suddenly kill the groove. And this consistency is a recurring element in all great bass lines and is common to all bass players, which you can become as well. And there you have it. Rhythm, articulation, tone color, and consistency are all elements that are common to every great bass line, with many more other elements and nuances to explore, discuss, and implement in our playing, like dynamics, ghost notes, timing, swing, circular breathing, texture, that is when to play denser or fewer notes, typical phrases, syncopation, how to support a vocalist or soloist, and many more. For more future content, please like, share, and subscribe. You can also donate very easily by clicking on one of the links below. Also, check out my website for info about one-on-one online lessons, where we can dig deep into a wide variety of topics in a structured way that will help you on your journey towards becoming a better tuba bass player. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, see you in the next one.